I have turned to the historical acts in order to show that the technologies of recommendation have not come into being as a result of digital technology. They were ideas which already existed and they were applied with greater or lesser difficulty. The advantage of digital technology is that it offers us an unequally flexibility in the comparison of all types of data tendencies, linkings, citations, hyperlinks, downloads, clicks, and so on. It offers us possibilities that about which our forefathers were not even able to dream. And with Internet, we have the ideal setting to offer worldwide users any innovation of this type that may occur to us. And believe me, when I say that we are a long way from having exhausted all the ideas of the creation of innovative technologies of recommendation, I think we are in the good way. So I will introduce the industry, what I say, industry of innovative reuse, and or really says as industry of innovative assembly. We, if we disregard the term innovative, then what do we mean by the expression industry of reuse? In reality, the expression refers implicitly to the free reuse of content created by third parties for the creation of works derived with added value. This added value may be very subtle and at times can be a source of controversy. Let us take the case of the music industry and imagine for a moment that all the songs of the world had a copyleft type of license, in contrast to copyright licenses. That allowed said songs to be used to create a CD with a strange and apparently absurd combination of songs never before put together for their sale. Obviously, this strategy could create controversy whenever it simply consists of combining the original creations of others without rhyme or reason. However, the situation could arise that the CD is a success among music critics and experts, due to the fact that what a layperson believes to be a stupid combination of songs turns out to be a tremendous intuition on the part of the person who has put them together in one CD, because the songs have some characteristic in common which is imperceptible at first sight. Let us now suppose that the aforementioned CD is not a success among the music critics. Would this invalidate the argument in favor of free reuse of content? Would the author of the CD be committing a crime because there is no added value contributed to a simple combination of songs that already existed? Once again, I ask you to make use of your imagination. And, for example, we could suppose that 3 years after the release of the CD, a company launches a data mining type application on the market that is capable of finding similar patterns in the charts of all the songs, patterns that have only been detected by the stroke of genius of the author of the CD. In this case, the author of the CD would be saved from the accusations, and her CD would be considered to be a valuable and unexpected contribution to music, perhaps the work of a genius. But what if the recently invented music data mining apparatus does not discover these patterns? Should it be inferred that there is no added value in the CD, or should the music data mining be accused of not being good enough to discover the underlying patterns of the songs? Obviously, the answer escapes us. Of course, we would be inclined to believe that there is no added value in the CD, but we would not be completely certain. The question of added value is relevant in the aforementioned example. In fact, we are referring to whether the author has contributed any innovation in the task of combining the songs in the CD. We cannot wait for someone to invent a machine that indicates if there has been an innovation or not in the previously mentioned initiative. What is obvious is that the author of the individual songs would not like to see how somebody who contributes nothing new receives economic gain from a product that costs them considerable effort. Naturally, intellectual property rights make it impossible to think about similar setting, and perhaps it's not the best panorama for the music industry or the progress of music. To be honest, I do not dare to give any opinion because I am not an expert in the music industry. Nevertheless, I would be completely satisfied if the example has created some concern, or at least has made you think a little more about it. However, I do know a great deal more about how science functions and what the expectations of scientists are when they publish an article in an academic journal. I will explain why the case of science is the opposite of music in this sense, and why science is a good field for resources to be exploited in the way that I have indicated, or in other words, through an industry of an innovative reuse. Three examples of innovative reuse can be seen in open source, Amazon, and meteorological data. Since in open source, in this case, the reused content is the software. The developers who use an open source application, are obliged to maintain the software that they are constructing from it as free. This simple procedure, made possible by appropriate licenses, has produced innumerable innovations and is threatening the dominion of the big property software multinational corporations. The second example is Amazon. Like BarnesandNoble.com, the original database of Amazon came from ESBN, registry provider broker. But Amazon continued to improve its data and increase the value of its content by adding other complementary informations such as cover images, table of contents, index, and simple material. In order to give even more value to the offered service, Amazon has encouraged its users to introduce comments and reviews. In this way, and after several years of improvement, Amazon has become the reference for scholars and librarians in their consultations of bibliographical data, overtaking Bowker. And the third example is meteorological data. The American meteorological data are made available at no cost by the state, in such a way that the United States of America has created an industry of reuse of the meteorological data 10 times greater than in Europe, both in profits and generation of employment. This line of action is currently being promoted by the European Union, which has measured the loss of industrial value that the limitations placed on the reuse of public sector information supposes for Europe, especially if the situation is compared with the US. A study commissioned by the European Union in 2001 showed that public sector information in Europe generated a return for the economy 7 times higher than the investment, whereas in the USA, the economic value generated multiplies the investment by 39. The difference is found precisely in the freedom North American institutions offer to private sector to commercially reuse the public information. For that reason, a community directive of the European Union tries to establish a legal framework which favors the creation of industrial fabric, thus favoring the creation of products and services of added value by the private sector. What they have named industry of innovative reuse is called Innovation in Assembly by O'Reilly, author of What is Web 2.0. The following paragraph is a fragment of his article.